Hello and welcome to my Gargoyle Slayer guide. To slay gargoyles, you need level 75 Slayer, and since we're going to be using melee in this guide, I recommend having at least level 70 in your melee stats. Now let's look at the gear setup. For each gear slot, I recommend using your best offensive gear. You'll also want to have gear that has good defenses too. For your helmet, you should use a black mask or a Slayer helm. For your body and legs, I recommend using a fighter torso or a bandos, or if you don't have any offensive gear for your body and legs, then you should use tanky gear like Barrow's armor. And since gargoyles are very profitable, I recommend using a bracelet of slaughter to extend your task. But for your shield, I recommend using a Dragonfire shield if you have one over the Dragon Defender. The Dragonfire shield has a little bit less offense ability than the Dragon Defender, but it has a lot more defense. And you're also going to need a rock hammer to actually destroy the gargoyles once they get down to low health. And for 120 Slayer points, you could buy the Gargoyle Smasher, but it's not needed, it's only recommended if you're lazy like me. For your inventory, you're going to want a spec weapon, an attack and strength potion, some alchemy runes, and 2 to 3 bracelets of slaughter. For food, you could bring 10 to 15 monkfish. But if you have the money, or if you're a lucky Iron Man, then you should bring full guthans for the trip. Since most of the gargoyles drops are either stackable or alchable, that means if you bring guthans, you could do the whole Slayer task in one trip. Gargoyles are located at the Mortania Slayer Tower, so the best way to get there is through the Slayer Ring. But if you don't have Slayer Rings, then you could use the Fairy Ring CKS, or teleport to Canifis to get to the Slayer Tower. After you teleport to the Slayer Tower, go down the ladder near the entrance, and then to the east will be a big room of gargoyles. You can only use this room if you're on a task, so if you don't have a Gargoyle Slayer task, you can't kill the gargoyles here. A small tip for if you're using guthans: when you switch to the Guthan Spear, make sure you switch your attack to Crush, because the gargoyles are weaker to Crush than Slash. If you have the superior Slayer monsters unlocked, then once in a while a marble gargoyle might appear. Now the marble gargoyle you actually have to pay attention to kill. Once in a while I do see people die to it, so here's how to kill it easily. Now it uses both melee and ranged attacks regularly, so I recommend praying for melee and then just tanking the ranged hits. But while attacking it, right click the ground and hover over walk here. Once in a while, the marble gargoyle will use a magical attack, which you have to step out of the way to avoid. If you don't step out of the way, it will freeze you, and it can hit up to 38 damage. You could avoid the magic attack by watching the area where the ranged attack comes from. If it changes to a purple magic attack, then that's the time to step away. It is very quick, so you do have to react fast to it. Just repeat attacking it and walking out of the way of the magic attack, and then eventually you'll kill it and get a lot of experience and a lot of loot. Thank you for watching my Gargoyle Slayer guide. I hope you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this one.